Hello everyone, welcome back. So in today's lesson, what I'm going to cover is the interior and exterior angles of a polygon. And basically there's really only two formulas that you need to know. And hopefully it's pretty straightforward. Now just to give you a bit of background, what is an interior angle of a polygon? So say if I had a pentagon, okay. This is a pentagon, okay, it's not a very good pentagon. But basically what an interior angle is this is the interior angle, okay? So assuming this is a regular pentagon, okay? So a regular pentagon, and the question can ask you, how do you find what this angle is? Now, basically to do this, what you can do is work out how many degrees a whole pentagon has, and then you divide the answer by 5, right? So if I give you an easier question, say a square, for example, say this is a square, and I ask you to find out what this angle is, you probably already know that this angle is going to be 90 degrees, right? Because you know that an angle in a square is 90 degrees. Another way to do it is you work out the total number of degrees in a square, which is 360, and you divide it by 4. Now to work out how many degrees a pentagon have, well, we don't really know how many degrees a pentagon has, right? We know that a square has 360 degrees. A triangle has what? A triangle has 180 degrees, right? So to work out how many degrees a pentagon have, there's actually a special formula, and the formula is this. So the formula is basically the number of sides, take away 2, multiplied by 180 degrees. That's how you work out how many degrees a shape has. Okay, so say for a pentagon, how many degrees in total a pentagon has? So then you just do 5 take away 2, because a pentagon has 5 sides, times by 180 degrees. So what this should give you is, this should give you 540 degrees. So then we can say that a pentagon, now it doesn't need to be a regular pentagon. If I draw any pentagon, okay, so this is not a regular one, they all have 540 degrees. And just like how in a quadrilateral, doesn't matter what quadrilateral you have, it's going to be 360 degrees, right? Now, you don't really need to know why this formula makes sense, but basically, if you're curious, to give you an understanding of this formula, it's basically working out how many triangles you can split a pentagon into. So a pentagon, you can split into 3 triangles, right? So that's why you have the 3 times 180, because each triangle has 180 degrees, and if we have 3 triangles, that's going to be 540. So that's the intuition behind this formula. You don't really need to know it, but it's just for your own interest. Alright, so that's how you can work out the total sum of the angles for a pentagon. Now, in the special scenario of a regular pentagon, because we know all the angles are equal, right? So the question asks you how many degrees is each interior angle of a pentagon, or all you have to do is you work out the total angle and then you divide it by 5. So if you just do 540 degrees divided by 5, then you will get how big each of these angles are, and that should be about I can use a calculator for this. So 540 divided by 5 is what? Now, I normally would be able to do this in my head, but being a bit lazy today, 108, okay? So that means each of these angles for a regular pentagon is 108 degrees. Now for a random pentagon, we don't actually know, because we know that each angle can be different, right? So we just know that the total angle sum of a pentagon is 540 degrees, but in the case of a regular pentagon, they're each 108 degrees. Okay, so let's just take a look at an example. Find the sum of the interior angles of an octagon and the size of an interior angle if the octagon is regular, okay? So we can just use this formula to work out the total sum. So for question 1, to work out the total sum of all the angles, so if you want, you can draw the octagon as well. Right. So it's basically asking you, if I had to add up all the angles, what would it be? So then what you can just do is you can use the formula n minus 2 times 180 to work out how many degrees the octagon has. So it's going to be 8 take away 2 times 180. So that will give you what? 1080 degrees. So 1080 degrees is the total angle sum of all the angles of an octagon, right? So if I do all these angles and I add them up, I get 1080. And the second question says size of an interior angle. In other words, they want you to work out just one of them. Okay, so to work out one of them, all you have to do is just divide it by 8, right? Because there's 8. It's equal to 1080 divided by 8. So what should you get? No, you get it here. So 135 degrees. Okay, I know this symbol looks like a plus, but it's actually a divide if you're curious. Okay, so that's that. Now let's go on to the exterior angles. So a regular polygon has an exterior angle of 20 degrees. How many sides does a polygon have? So just to give you some context, an exterior the angle. So if I draw a pentagon again, so as we know that this is the interior, the angle, right? So, oops, this is the interior angle, right? To find the exterior angle, you have to draw a line from here and then point this angle. So this is called an exterior angle. And the pentagon that actually has 5 the exterior angles. So you just have to extend one of the sides and you get the exterior angle, right? You see these 5 the angles? These are called the exterior angles because it's supplementary to the interior angle, right? So just remember, the dot is the interior angle, and the curved thing, that's the exterior angle, right? Just to make it more clear, I'm just going to do it in red. So the red is the exterior angle, and the black is the interior angle. Now, there's something interesting about the exterior angles of all the shapes, and that is the sum of the exterior angles of any shape will always be 360 degrees. So for example, if I have a square, right? The square will also have exterior angles because as you can see, this is the interior angle, right? These are the 4 interior angles. To work out the exterior angle, you can just draw a line. So these 4 angles are the exterior angles. And remember, exterior angles, they add up to 360 degrees. So for a square, we already know that because we know that the interior angle is 90, exterior angle is also 90, and 90 times 4 is 360. So the question says a regular polygon has an exterior angle of 20 degrees. So that means it's saying that a polygon has the exterior angle equal to 20 degrees. How many sides does a polygon have? So the formula is the number of sides is equal to the exterior is equal to 360 degrees divided by the exterior angle. So if the exterior angle is 20 degrees, then we just do 360 divided by 20. So what should this give you? It should give you the 18. Okay, so just remember, to work out how many sides a polygon has, so you can just do 360 divided by the exterior, the angle. Alright, so let's just go back to our first example. So in our first example, we know that the interior angle of the octagon is 135 degrees, right? So what should the exterior angle be? Well, as you know, if the interior angle is 135, the exterior angle should be what? It should be this angle here, right? And remember, the 2 angles need to add up to 180 degrees. So if the interior angle is 135, then the exterior angle should be equals to 180 take away 135, right? And what does this equal to? This equals to 45 degrees. So we know that for the octagon, the exterior angle is 45 degrees. And we can just double check that it's an octagon. Because if you still remember, the number of sides a shape has is equal to 360 degrees divided by the exterior angle. So if the exterior angle is 45 degrees, then what we can do is we can just test this theory out. 360 divided by the exterior angle, now we should get 8 for our answer, right? If this property works. And we do get 8. So basically there's 2 formulas for you to know. The first formula is the number of degrees that's inside an angle, inside a shape is n minus 2 times 180 degrees. And the second formula you need to know is the number of sides a shape has is equal to 360 degrees divided by exterior the angle. And once you know these 2 formulas, you should be able to do the exercises. Now I'm just going to go through some quick examples from the exercise just to make sure you fully understand what you learned today. So say for example, I'm going to pick one of the hard ones. So say for question 7, right? Tiles in the shape of a regular polygon have been used to make the following shapes. Find the value of the prime numerals. Okay, let's just do 7b. Okay, now basically it's asking you to work out this angle here, right? So we already know that this angle is going to be what? 60 degrees, right? Because it's in a triangle. Because it says a regular polygon, that means all sides are equal. This is also 60 degrees. Now, how do we work out this angle here? So what we can do is, we can first of all work out how many degrees that's inside a pentagon. So, pentagon, how many degrees in total? So, that's equal to what? N minus 2 times 180 degrees, right? That's how many degrees in total. So that's equal to, well, pentagon has 5 sides, so 5 take away 2 times 180 degrees. That's equal to 540 degrees. Now 540 degrees represents all the angles combined. So if you want to work out one of them, so you can just do, it's an interior angle is equal to 540 divided by 5, right? And what is this equal to? 108 degrees, as we probably worked out in our previous example. Now we know that this angle is 108, so how many degrees in total? So then the total is equal to 60 times, well, 60 plus 108 degrees plus 60 degrees, right? So that gives you 228 degrees. So that's how you can do a question like this. But basically just work out the individual angles and then you add them up. Alright, so let's jump into some of these harder questions. So say question 8e, okay? This question looks pretty funky. Alright, let's take a look. So this question asks you to work out the value of x. Now, how do we do that? Well, first of all, work out how many degrees in total. So how many sides does this shape have? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is basically a hexagon. Okay, so you can write that if you want. You don't have to. So how many degrees in total does the hexagon have? Is equal to, well, you can just do 6 take away 2 times 180 degrees. Because we know the formula is n minus 2 times 180. This is 720 degrees. Okay. And then next step, we can write an expression to work out the total angle. So we can say that 130 degrees plus, well, this is 90 degrees, plus x plus x plus x plus x, right? So I can just say plus 4x is equal to 720 degrees. And then we just solve this equation. So this is 220 degrees plus 4x degrees is equal to 72 degrees, 720 degrees. And then just the 4x degrees is equal to 500 degrees. So then what's x? X equals 125, right? Now you don't need to write the degrees because there's already degrees on top of the x. So that's how you can do a question like E. So I'll pick another one. So say question the F, okay? Question F, probably a hard question, but let's take a look. Alright, so basically work out how many sides the shape has in the beginning. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this has 7 sides, right? So to work out total, the angle, you do 7 take away 2 times 180. And what does this equal to? This equals to 900 degrees. Okay, now don't be scared by this exterior angle. That's just one of the angles. So we just have to take the sum of all the angles. So 2x. So because there's 4 of them, I can just do 2x times 4 plus x times 2 plus 300 degrees equals to 900 degrees. Okay, I'm not going to write the degrees here like I'll write it at the very end because I'm also a bit lazy. So this is 8x plus 2x plus 300 equals to 900. 10x plus 300 equals to 900. 10x equals to 600. X equals to what? 60. Right? Actually, we don't need to even write the degrees because degrees is written for us. So then x is equal to 60. Alright, so that's most of the examples that I've gone through today. I'm just going to go through one more example about the exterior angles because I realize these are, at the moment, I'm just using interior, the angles here. So say for question 6, okay? Now this is a green question, so there's actually no blue questions in this exercise, so that's probably a good thing. Find the number of sides in a regular polygon that has an exterior angle of 60 degrees. So remember, if you just use the formula, to work out how many sides a shape has, you just do 360 degrees divided by the number of the angle size. So if the exterior angle is 60 degrees, then the number of sides is what? 6. So that's how you do 6a. Okay, and you just do the same for B, C, and D. So it's pretty straightforward. So hopefully there's no dramas. Alright, so that's all for today. Thank you for listening.